Welcome back to Breakfast Central. It's time for us to take you through the papers. And because we are broadcasting live from Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, we'll be starting off with the Punch newspaper. On the front page of the Punch newspaper, the big story there is talking about Osun governorship poll. Adeleke's camp worries over litigation. Who's PDP faction? Of course, yesterday we took the story of the presidential governorship, candidate of the PDP winning the elections in Osun State. And the updates here that we have are all aggrieved members constitute danger. We are talking to Babayemi, says PDP spokesman. I expect Oyetola to have congratulated me. Concede defeat, says Governor-elect Adeleke. Osun governor's lawyers inspect election results. May head for court. Tinubu awaits governor. Well, moving on from that, let's move to the top of the paper. Aero suspends operations over skyrocketing jet A1 price. Others, that's on page 22. This has been an ongoing conversation. The price of aviation fuel has skyrocketed almost over 100% it seems, and lots of airlines have been hit. The cost of airfares have also reflected this struggle. Federal government, United Nations to identify terrorists, criminals at airports. It will be interesting to note how they intend to do this. Details on page 19. Benedisco challenges BPE, plans UK legal action. That's on page 19. NLC desk police says protest notification unnecessary. Now, this is on page 14, and on page 24 we have consumers pay 193 billion naira to discos amid blackout. That's a report. What's the situation of the light in your area? Have you had consistent or constant light? Or is it something that has been a 1 day on, 5 days off situation? Let us know. Traders, buyers groan as food inflation hits 20.60%. The details of that on page 22. Now, if you see a picture there, shanties, shops raised as fire guts Lagos sawmill. That's a sad one. ASU meets August 1st strike, enters 155th day. We'll be looking into the details slightly of this, as seen as the NLC plans to join ASU in a supportive strike. Flood. Ogun residents flee homes, decry government neglect. Lagos court jails businessman 60 years for fraud. Oyo gets new deputy governor. Olaniyan faults impeachment. Fans mourn death of Nollywood actresses Ame and Onoyiga. Power supply to drop again. TCN alerts Nigeria on page 20. Nigerians, I beg your pardon, on page 22. And that's all that we can take this morning on the front page of the Punch. Move over to our next paper.
Well, let's go to Kenya this morning and share with you what's going on over there. Of course, the big conversations are still about the elections. You can see there on the Star newspapers in Kenya. It says Ruto and Raila in elaborate vote protection plan. Azimio team starts recruiting and training of 46,000 poll agents. Also, governors in fight with SRC over hefty send-off package. And let's share with you what the governors are asking for in Kenya. One-off lump sum equal to 1 year's basic salary. Monthly pension equal to 80% of monthly salary. Four-wheel drive vehicle of 3,000 cc engine capacity.
I love this.
Fuel allowance at 10% of monthly salary. Maintenance expenses for allocated vehicles. Full medical cover, local and overseas, for governor, spouse, and 2 kids. Personal assistant and driver.
Ooh. You've not finished. There's monthly pension equal to 90% of monthly salary. And there's also fuel allowance. I shared that one earlier.
It's very interesting because these are very similar to to governors in Nigeria and some of the things that we're complaining about here in Nigeria. So they definitely learned these things from the giant of Africa. I'm guessing so because a lot of Nigerian governors have pretty much the same pensions. After being in office for 4 years or for 8 years, they have houses, and monthly allocations and personal assistance and cars that they change every 3 or 4 years. And houses in the federal capital territory and, of course, in the state that they govern.
I mean, that's another thing lots of people have been asking. Whilst you're in office, it's understandable that certain benefits you are entitled to, but whilst when you're out of office, should you be entitled to that same allowance in the same...
To absolutely nothing.
Well, another angle to look at it from would be the fact that once you've served in the capacity of a governor, it's almost impossible for you to work anywhere. It's almost impossible for you to take employment anywhere else, right? And you've already been...
What were you doing before you became governor?
Well, working as a civil servant.
So you go back there. Listen, people work for 30, 35 years in Nigeria's civil service. They do not get 0.5% of the demands that governors make after 4 years in office. We hear in the last couple of days, I think, I was speaking with my dad over the weekend. I was talking about the Supreme Court judges, getting 10 million naira, monthly, as some new salary scale. Professors earn 400, 500,000.
Yeah, less than $1,000.
So what's a governor doing with all of this anyway? Good luck to them in Kenya. Why Kenyans with sexual dysfunction self-medicate, and I think that's the last one I'm gonna take.
All right, now let's move over to our next paper this morning. Let's look at what's happening in South Africa with the Sowetan. John Matera, 1935 to 2022, master wordsmith, poet, storyteller, dies. And like we say here, may his soul rest in peace. Rape survivor Bishop Zondo tried to buy my silence. That's on page 6. Wade looks the part. Mystery of Alex's missing dead on page 4. Not a happy day at Box. Excuse me. Legend laments jailer's departure, back page. Lover stiff trips heist couple. Fight over how to split share of 36 million rand. Banker put into partner's account. Leads police to pair who received 5.5 million rand of a diseased estate. Loot siphon from account of a Zimbabwean businessman who died in April. Church also got caught on page 3. Wow. At the end of the day, they have been found, and it's led the police to them. Okay, that's all that we can take this morning on the front page of the Sowetan. Let's move over to our final paper in Zimbabwe.
All right, and of course, on the daily news this morning, it says that pressed Zim cries for prices solution as consumers and businesses urge government to do more to mitigate pain. Also, just a few stories actually. Go drought Indiraya in for new striker. That's on page 16 in sports. And Mahendra to headline July Worship Festival. I think these are just the stories that we can find on the daily news, of course, in Zimbabwe this morning.